All right, guys, I do have another editorial for you this morning, and this one someone shared with me. Again, you're going to hear Ed McMahon over here. Thinks I'm Johnny Carson. Tries to be my host. Some people say the bird was the best part of the video. Wasn't she? I had a couple people say that yesterday. The bird was the best part of your video. Yeah. Let's get to the editorial. So someone shared this with me. I'm going to put a link to this story as well as a YouTube link to the sheriff's press conference, which is about 22 minutes long, in the description box below. Now, it's referenced a deputy that was making some threats against the federal government, and the sheriff said the deputy he made the threats to, who turned him in, is a hero. What happened was he made some statements to a friend and colleague of his, a friend, colleague deputy, and his peer turned him in and said, this bothers me. So the other deputy got arrested. Say what? Just check it out. Thank you to WFLA.com for this story. Polk County, Florida, Sheriff Grady Judd announced the arrest of one of his deputies for threatening remarks he made the night of the U.S. Capitol riots. Deputy Peter Haneen has been suspended pending termination from the sheriff's office. Sheriff Judd said an investigation into messages he sent on January 6 during the riots at the U.S. Capitol revealed absolutely frightening things. Sheriff Judd said Haneen was sending messages to a fellow deputy where he wrote things like F the feds, shoot the feds, I'll F and kill them all, take the fight to them, and need to have the streets of D.C. run red with the blood of tyrants. Sheriff Judd said a lot of what Haneen said was hate talk, but ventured into illegal threats of violence multiple times. Sheriff Judd said, as you can see, I am angry beyond words. He did add, however, that he is super proud of the deputy on the other side of that message chain that reported his friend and colleague. Sheriff Judd said the good news is one of our deputies did the right thing, gave information of a written threat by one of his colleagues. Following the investigation into the conversation, Haneen was arrested and charged with a second-degree felony of making threats. Sheriff Judd said having him arrested was important. Having him arrested before Inauguration Day was even more important. You issue a written threat, you're going to get locked up too, no matter who you are, because we are going to ensure the safety and security of this community. And quite frankly, it's time for this entire nation to take a deep breath and calm down. The deputy that turned in Haneen has returned to work. Sheriff Judd added that all the employees of the sheriff's office go through a rigorous background checks that include a psychological evaluation and a polygraph test. And he passed all of that, the sheriff said. Online jail records show Haneen was released from the Polk County Jail on only a $5,000 surety bond. And so something I wanted to point out, I mean, first of all, you can't make threats. It's not covered under free speech. You can't say, let's shoot the feds. You can't say that. It's just not covered under free speech. You can't say that to your neighbor. I'll go over and shoot my neighbor's house up. Well, you're going to jail now. You can't do it. But the thing I wanted to point out, and then I'll let you comment, was where he says, that this Haneen passed a extensive rigorous background check. I get that. Psychological evaluation. I don't know how sure these psychological evaluations are. I wouldn't put money on any of them. And a polygraph test. I laughed at that because so many people put their faith in these lie detectors. It's not a lie detector. It's a lie detector machine. No, it's not. It's a polygraph test. Poly meaning many. It gauges your pulse, your heart rate, your blood pressure, I believe, your breathing. If you got a heart murmur, what are they going to say? Man, this dude must be really lying because his heart's going freaking crazy. I mean, you're lying right now. No, I'm not. Your heart rate's beating. Your heart's beating really fast because I'm nervous. I'm taking a polygraph. So I don't know. I know some of you out there put faith in your polygraph tests. Polygraphs are. Whoever came up with that is an idiot. He just did that for money, and y'all just rode it like a wave. Whoa! No! Wipe out. So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Me and Ed McMahon over here in this cage. Community Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers to include those who make threats against the government online and from coast to coast.